Life is a precious gift, and how we navigate it often determines the level of fulfillment and peace we experience. As we walk this path, there are certain mistakes that can deeply affect our journey, holding us back from becoming the fullest expression of who we truly are. Today, I want to share with you 9 mistakes that you should never make in your life. By avoiding them, you will find a smoother path, a deeper sense of purpose, and the peace that comes from living authentically. The first mistake is believing that you are not enough. We all have moments of self-doubt, but it is essential to recognize that you are enough just as you are. The idea that you need to be more, to have more, or to change yourself to be worthy of love and success is a lie. The truth is that you are a unique expression of the universe, and your value is inherent. When you accept this truth, you open yourself to the abundance that is always available to you. The second mistake is allowing fear to control you. Fear is a natural part of being human, but it should never be the driving force in your life. When you let fear dictate your decisions, you close yourself off to possibility. It's important to recognize fear for what it is, just an emotion, not a fact. Step through fear, and you will find that the other side is where growth, opportunity, and transformation await. One of the most profound and damaging mistakes we make in life is believing that we are not enough. This belief, often ingrained in us from a young age, can limit our potential and shape how we see ourselves in the world. It manifests in many ways: feelings of inadequacy, the constant need for approval, or even a deep-seated belief that we are undeserving of success, love, or happiness. But the truth is, these thoughts are illusions, and they only hold us back from living our fullest lives. The idea that we are not enough often stems from external influences: society, family expectations, or past experiences. We are bombarded with messages that we need to look a certain way, achieve certain things, or possess particular qualities to be worthy. These external standards create a sense of lack, convincing us that we are somehow incomplete, flawed, or unworthy as we are. But the reality is that you are inherently enough simply by being who you are. There is nothing more you need to prove to the world to earn your worth. When we buy into the belief that we are not enough, we become trapped in a cycle of comparison. We look to others for validation, measuring our success and happiness against theirs. This creates a sense of never-ending dissatisfaction, as we often feel that we fall short of the standards set by others. But comparing ourselves to someone else is a futile exercise. We each have a unique journey, and our path is not meant to mirror anyone else's. The only comparison that matters is the one you make between who you are today and who you were yesterday. When you shift your focus inward, you begin to see that you are constantly growing, evolving, and becoming more of who you are meant to be. It is important to recognize that this belief in not being enough is not a reflection of reality, but of the mind's tendency to create limiting thoughts. It often arises from our insecurities and fears, but it is essential to realize that these are only thoughts, not truths. The belief that we are not enough is an illusion, and the moment we recognize it for what it is, we can start to dismantle it. Understanding that our worth is inherent, regardless of external validation, is the first step in freeing ourselves from this limiting mindset. Another aspect of this mistake is that we often tie our self-worth to external achievements. We believe that when we achieve a certain goal, whether it's landing a dream job, losing weight, or earning more money, we will finally feel enough. But the truth is, these external markers of success will never bring lasting fulfillment if we don't first recognize that we are enough as we are. Achievements are wonderful, but they should not be the basis of our self-worth. Our value is not dependent on what we do or how others perceive us. It is inherent in our very being. When we start to understand that we are enough, we can begin to embrace our imperfections. It is often in our perceived flaws and mistakes that we find our greatest lessons and growth. Perfection is an illusion, and the pursuit of it only leads to frustration and disappointment. Life is not about being perfect, but about being authentic and learning from every experience, both the good and the bad. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we open ourselves up to the beauty of our humanity and the richness of the journey. Believing that we are enough also means accepting ourselves fully. without judgment, without criticism, and without the need for approval. It means acknowledging our strengths and weaknesses, embracing both with love and compassion. We are not here to be anyone else but ourselves, and when we accept ourselves as we are, we create space for greater joy, peace, and fulfillment. This belief in our inherent worth is liberating. It allows us to step into our true power, to make decisions that align with our authentic selves, and to pursue what truly matters to us. When we know we are enough, we stop seeking validation from the outside world and begin to trust our inner wisdom. We stop measuring our worth by others' standards and start creating our own. This shift in perspective changes everything. So let go of the belief that you are not enough. You are more than enough, exactly as you are right now. There is nothing you need to change, no validation you need to seek, and no achievement you must attain to prove your worth. Embrace your inherent value and know that you are deserving of all the love, success, and happiness that life has to offer. It's time to step into your greatness, to honor who you are, and to trust that you are enough always. Fear is a powerful force, and it's something that we all experience in varying degrees. Yet the mistake many of us make is allowing fear to control us. Fear can hold us back from taking risks, from stepping into the unknown, and from fully embracing life as it is meant to be lived. Fear may seem like a protective instinct designed to keep us safe from harm, but when we let it govern our choices, it becomes a barrier rather than a guide. The reality is that fear is a natural part of being human. It's a part of our evolutionary makeup, designed to alert us to danger and protect us from harm. But over time, fear has morphed into something much more than a survival mechanism. In our modern world, fear often becomes an emotional response to situations where there is no actual threat to our physical safety. We fear failure, judgment, rejection, and even success. These fears may not be life-threatening, but they have a profound impact on our ability to grow, evolve, and pursue our dreams. When we allow fear to control us, we essentially give it the power to dictate our actions, limit our potential, and keep us stuck in place. Fear whispers in our ear, telling us we're not capable, that we're not worthy, or that something bad will happen if we step outside of our comfort zone. It convinces us that the familiar is safer, even if it means staying in situations that no longer serve us. The fear of uncertainty can keep us trapped in jobs, relationships, and patterns of behavior that we've outgrown. It convinces us to play small, to settle for mediocrity, and to avoid anything that feels risky or uncomfortable. But the truth is, fear is often based on the stories we tell ourselves. It's not rooted in actual facts or evidence, but in our imaginations. We imagine the worst-case scenario, and this fear becomes so real to us that it prevents us from moving forward. Yet, when we challenge these fears and confront them head-on, we often find that they are not nearly as scary as we once thought. In fact, the very thing we feared can be the doorway to the greatest growth, learning, and success of our lives. When you choose to live in fear, you also choose to give away your power. Fear makes you feel small, helpless, and unable to take control of your life. It keeps you locked in a mindset of limitation where everything feels like a threat and every new opportunity is met with resistance. But you have the ability to shift your relationship with fear. Instead of allowing it to control you, you can choose to see it as a signal of growth. Fear is often an indicator that you are on the brink of something new, something that will stretch you, challenge you, and help you evolve into the next version of yourself. The key to overcoming fear is not to try to eliminate it, but to learn how to walk alongside it. Fear will always be a part of your journey, but it doesn't have to stop you from moving forward. You can choose to act despite your fear, to take that step even when your heart races and your mind tells you to turn back. When you do this, you begin to build confidence and resilience. Every time you move through fear, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. A powerful way to confront fear is to question it. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Often the worst-case scenario is not as catastrophic as we've made it out to be in our minds. Once you can see the reality of the situation, you may realize that the risk isn't as great as it seemed. You may even discover that the potential reward far outweighs the fear you're holding on to. Living in fear means missing out on opportunities for growth, adventure, and joy. It means living in the shadow of what if rather than fully embracing the what is. It means staying in your comfort zone, never testing your limits, and never discovering what you're truly capable of. Fear tells you to play it safe, but life is not about playing it safe. Playing safe is not about playing it safe. Playing safe is not about playing it safe. Life is about exploration, expansion, and embracing the unknown. If you want to create the life you desire, you must learn to move through fear. You must acknowledge it when it arises, but not let it dictate your choices. Life is meant to be lived fully, and the only way to truly experience the richness it has to offer is by stepping into the unknown with courage and confidence. You have the power to overcome your fears, to move through uncertainty, and to embrace new experiences that will enrich your life in ways you never imagined. Fear is a part of the journey, but it doesn't have to control the destination. When you learn to walk through fear with awareness and intention, you free yourself to live the life you were always meant to live. It's time to take that first step, to trust in yourself and to move forward with the knowledge that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Thank you. One of the most common mistakes we make is holding on to the past. Whether it's past relationships, past failures, or past regrets, we often carry these heavy burdens with us, letting them define who we are and how we live. The truth is, holding on to the past keeps us trapped in a loop, preventing us from moving forward and embracing the present moment. We cannot change what has already happened, yet so many of us waste precious time and energy dwelling on things we cannot alter. The past is like a shadow that follows us, but it's important to realize that we are not bound by it. It is easy to let past mistakes, losses, or hurtful experiences shape our present reality. When we focus too much on what happened before, we are not giving ourselves the chance to experience life as it is right now. We allow our past to dictate our current emotions, choices, and even our future. This can leave us feeling stuck, disconnected, and unable to truly engage with the beauty and potential of the present. One of the main reasons we hold on to the past is because we are afraid to face the emotions that come with letting go. Whether it's fear of pain, guilt, or shame, we often believe that by holding on to these past experiences, we can control them, or that somehow by constantly revisiting them we will find closure or understanding. But the truth is, the more we dwell on the past, the more power we give to those negative emotions. We keep them alive within us, and in doing so, we prevent ourselves from healing and moving forward. Letting go of the past is not about forgetting or denying the experiences we've had. It's about accepting that what has happened is over and that it no longer serves us. It's about realizing that we cannot change the past, but we have full control over how we choose to respond to it. When we allow ourselves to release the grip that the past has on us, we free up emotional space for new experiences, opportunities, and personal growth. We give ourselves permission to create a new narrative, one that is not weighed down by what once was. It's also important to understand that holding on to the past often creates a barrier to new possibilities. If we are constantly looking back, we miss out on the opportunities that are right in front of us. The present moment is where life is unfolding, where change can happen, and where our true potential resides. When we keep one foot in the past, we are not fully present, and we rob ourselves of the chance to engage with life in a meaningful way. The present is the only time we truly have, and when we let the past control us, we waste the opportunity to fully experience it. Moreover, holding on to the past often results in a lack of forgiveness, both toward others and ourselves. Forgiveness is a powerful act of releasing the past and freeing ourselves from the emotional weight it carries. When we forgive, we let go of the grip that old wounds have on our hearts. We no longer allow the actions of others or our own mistakes to dictate our peace. Forgiveness is not about condoning or excusing past behavior. It is about choosing to release the anger, resentment, or guilt that prevents us from moving forward. When we hold on to past grudges or failures, we essentially give away our power. We allow those past events to continue to affect our present emotions, relationships, and decisions. We keep reliving those experiences in our minds, constantly revisiting the pain and regret associated with them. But by choosing to let go, we reclaim our personal power. We take back control over our emotions and our life, and we shift our focus to what we can create now in the present moment. Letting go of the past is also an act of self-love. It's a way of telling yourself that you deserve to be free from the weight of old stories, old hurt, and old regrets. It's a commitment to your own growth, happiness, and well-being. When you let go, you give yourself permission to step into a new chapter, to create new memories, and to live with a sense of freedom that comes from not being anchored to the past. Another powerful aspect of releasing the past is that it allows you to embrace the unknown. When we are attached to the past, we often hold on to it out of fear of the future. We become so comfortable with the familiarity of the past, even if it's painful, that the idea of moving forward can seem daunting. But when we let go, we open ourselves to the vast possibilities that the future holds. We step into the uncertainty with trust, knowing that life has more to offer than we can possibly imagine. Ultimately, the key to letting go of the past is shifting our focus. Instead of living in what has been, we need to move into what is. We must embrace the present moment and all the opportunities it holds. The past is behind us. It's no longer ours to control or change. What we have is now. We have the power to choose how we move forward, to create a new path for ourselves, and to release the hold that the past has on our lives. So stop letting the past define your present. Let go of the old stories, the hurt, and the regret. Trust that by releasing it, you are creating space for something new and beautiful to unfold. Life is meant to be lived forward, not backward. Embrace the journey ahead and trust that every step you take from this moment forward is a step toward healing, growth, and a life filled with possibility. Thank you. One of the most common mistakes we make in life is seeking validation from others. We all desire approval and acceptance, but when we rely on others to define our worth, we lose touch with who we truly are. This constant need for external validation can shape our decisions, influence our actions, and even dictate our sense of self. The truth is, seeking validation from the outside world will only leave us feeling empty and dependent. True confidence and self-worth must come from within. From an early age, we are conditioned to seek approval. Whether it's praise from our parents, recognition from our peers, or accolades from society, we are taught that our value is determined by how others perceive us. As we grow older, this pattern often persists. We become so focused on meeting others' expectations, living up to their standards, and gaining their approval that we forget to ask ourselves what we truly want, what makes us happy, and what feels authentic to us. This quest for validation leads us to measure our success by someone else's yardstick, never truly content because we are constantly chasing something outside ourselves. When we seek validation from others, we give away our personal power. We let others have control over how we feel about ourselves. If someone praises us, we feel good. If someone criticizes us, we feel bad. We become like a boat tossed by the waves, unable to find our own steady course because we are constantly responding to the judgments and opinions of others. In doing so, we lose our inner compass, the ability to make decisions based on our own values, desires, and beliefs. Living in pursuit of others' approval also keeps us trapped in a cycle of perfectionism. We constantly try to be what others want us to be, believing that we need to meet their expectations in order to be worthy of love, respect, or success. But perfectionism is not sustainable. It's a never-ending race that will never leave you feeling enough. The truth is, no matter how much you try to please others, it will never be enough. Someone will always want more, and someone will always have a different opinion. This makes living for external validation a futile endeavor. Furthermore, seeking validation from others often leads to people-pleasing behavior. We go out of our way to make others happy, even at the expense of our own well-being. We suppress our true feelings, desires, and needs to avoid conflict or gain approval. This not only drains us emotionally, but also creates a sense of resentment. We begin to feel as though we are constantly giving, never receiving, and ultimately lose our sense of self. We forget what we truly want, and we forget to honor our own needs and boundaries. The trap of seeking validation can also lead to insecurity. When we place our worth in the hands of others, we are constantly dependent on their opinions. If someone's approval is withheld, we feel inadequate. But if we make validation an internal process where we affirm our own worth and stand strong in who we are, then our confidence becomes rooted in something far more solid. It no longer depends on someone else's fleeting opinion or external praise. Instead, we begin to see our value from the inside out, and that is a much more empowering and sustainable way to live. Living without the need for external validation requires a shift in perspective. It means choosing to trust yourself, your abilities, and your unique journey. It means no longer basing your happiness on how others view you, but instead on how you view yourself. The moment you stop seeking approval is the moment you reclaim your power. You are no longer bound by others' judgments or expectations, and you can make choices based on your own truth, not the approval of others. This shift is not about being arrogant or disregarding the value of feedback from others. It's about cultivating self-awareness and self-respect. Constructive criticism and support from others are important, but they should not define your worth. Your self-worth is innate, and no external validation can give it to you. It's something that comes from deep within and radiates outward. The most powerful form of validation is the one you give yourself. When you learn to recognize your own strengths, honor your own journey, and affirm your own value, you no longer need the approval of others to feel whole. You stop looking outside yourself for reassurance and start becoming your own source of confidence and self-assurance. When you stop seeking validation, you also free yourself to live authentically. You no longer feel the need to conform to others' expectations or play roles that don't align with your true self. You begin to embrace who you are, flaws and all, and celebrate your uniqueness. This freedom is incredibly liberating, for it allows you to step into your true power, make decisions based on your own desires, and live a life that is true to your values. Seeking validation from others is a mistake that can hold you back from living a life of fulfillment and authenticity. When you choose to seek validation from within, you empower yourself to live in alignment with your truth. You break free from the constraints of external approval and begin to trust in your own worth. You begin to live with purpose, confidence, and the peace that comes from knowing that you are enough, just as you are. Remember, the only validation that truly matters is the one you give yourself. Thank you. One of the greatest mistakes we make in life is living with limiting beliefs. These beliefs are deeply ingrained ideas that shape how we see ourselves, others, and the world around us. They often stem from past experiences, societal conditioning, or negative self-talk, and they can create barriers that prevent us from reaching our full potential. Limiting beliefs can be insidious because they often feel like truths, when in reality they are nothing more than thought patterns that we have come to accept as our reality. These beliefs keep us small, playing it safe, and denying ourselves the chance to truly thrive. Living with limiting beliefs means that we operate from a place of fear and insecurity rather than possibility and confidence. These beliefs often hold us back from taking risks, trying new things, and stepping out of our comfort zones. They tell us things like, "I'm not good enough," "I'm not worthy of success," or "I'll never be able to achieve that." They create a self-imposed glass ceiling, making it feel as though there is a limit to what we can accomplish no matter how hard we try. In reality, these limits are self-created, and once we begin to recognize them, we can break free. One of the most damaging aspects of limiting beliefs is that they shape our identity. We begin to see ourselves through the lens of these beliefs, thinking that they are intrinsic to who we are. For example, if we have the belief that we are not capable of achieving success, we may avoid pursuing opportunities, or worse, we may sabotage ourselves before we even get started. We become locked in a cycle of self-doubt, fear of failure, and low self-esteem. Our beliefs begin to dictate our actions, and our actions then confirm the very beliefs that are holding us back. It's a vicious circle that reinforces the notion that we are limited, powerless, or not good enough. But here's the truth. These beliefs are not facts. They are simply the result of past experiences, societal conditioning, or even the fears that we have internalized over time. The key to breaking free from limiting beliefs is to understand that they are not permanent and do not define us. We have the power to change them. The first step in changing limiting beliefs is recognizing them for what they are. Once we become aware of the beliefs that are holding us back, we can begin to challenge them. We can ask ourselves, is this belief really true? Is it based on evidence, or is it just a story I've been telling myself? When we begin to question our beliefs, we open ourselves to new possibilities. We start to see that what we believed was impossible is in fact achievable. By reframing our thoughts and replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones, we start to shift our mindset. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, we begin to think, I am capable and I am worthy of success. Instead of fearing failure, we start to see it as an opportunity for growth. This shift in thinking can have a profound impact on our lives, allowing us to take bold actions, embrace challenges, and ultimately achieve the success and fulfillment we desire. Living without limiting beliefs means embracing the idea that there are no real limits to what we can accomplish. It means letting go of the fear and doubt that have held us back and replacing them with the belief that anything is possible. This is not to say that we will not face challenges or setbacks. Of course we will. But when we believe in our ability to overcome obstacles, we develop resilience. We begin to trust ourselves, our skills, and our inner strength. We stop looking for external validation and start relying on our own inner resources to guide us. One of the most powerful ways to break free from limiting beliefs is by taking action. Often our beliefs are based on the fear of failure or the fear of not being good enough. But the more we take action, the more we prove to ourselves that we are capable. Even small steps forward can help us build momentum and confidence. By taking action, we push past our limiting beliefs and prove to ourselves that we are not defined by them. Another important aspect of overcoming limiting beliefs is surrounding ourselves with positive influences. The people we spend time with, the books we read, the media we consume, and the environments we immerse ourselves in all shape our beliefs. If we are constantly surrounded by negativity or voices that reinforce our limiting beliefs, it becomes harder to break free. On the other hand, when we surround ourselves with people who uplift us, challenge us, and believe in our potential, we are more likely to adopt empowering beliefs that support our growth. Overcoming limiting beliefs also requires self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we fail or when things don't go according to plan, but we need to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Limiting beliefs often stem from past failures or negative experiences, and the process of unlearning them can take time. Be patient with yourself as you work through these beliefs and replace them with new empowering ones. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our growth, celebrate our progress, and keep moving forward without judgment. Ultimately, living without limiting beliefs means living from a place of empowerment. It means believing in yourself, your potential, and your ability to create the life you want. When you free yourself from limiting beliefs, you open up to infinite possibilities. You stop playing small and start living big. You stop making excuses and start taking action. And when you begin to believe in yourself fully, you unlock the door to a life filled with purpose, passion, and success. So, let go of the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Recognize that they are not truth, but stories you've told yourself. Challenge them, replace them, and take bold steps forward. The world is full of possibilities, and you are more than capable of achieving all that you desire. Thank you. One of the most profound mistakes we make in life is waiting for the perfect moment to take action. We often find ourselves stuck in a state of inaction, thinking that there is some ideal time when everything will align perfectly for us to move forward. We tell ourselves that once the circumstances are just right, once we have enough knowledge, resources, or confidence, we will take that leap. The truth is, the perfect moment never arrives. Waiting for it only holds us back from experiencing life to its fullest and from stepping into the opportunities that are right in front of us. This belief in the perfect moment can be paralyzing. We become so focused on creating the right conditions that we end up never acting at all. We wait for the stars to align, thinking that things must fall into place before we can begin pursuing our dreams, goals, or desires. But in doing so, we miss out on the possibility that life is not about waiting for everything to be perfect. It's about moving forward despite the imperfections, the uncertainties, and the challenges. The truth is, the perfect moment is a myth. Life is always in motion, and the circumstances will rarely be ideal. There will always be obstacles, uncertainties, and things that are out of our control. If we keep waiting for the perfect time, we will find ourselves perpetually stuck in a cycle of hesitation and fear. We will keep telling ourselves that once we have more time, more money, more knowledge, or more support, we'll be ready to take the plunge. But the reality is that we are never truly ready for anything. Life is about taking action and learning as we go. This desire for the perfect moment is often rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown. We are afraid that if we step out of our comfort zones and take a chance, we will fail or make a mistake. But what we fail to realize is that growth happens through action. Every mistake, every setback, and every challenge is part of the process. It's through taking imperfect action that we learn, adapt, and grow stronger. If we wait for everything to be perfect, we will never experience the joy of progress or the satisfaction of moving forward. The truth is, waiting for the perfect moment is a form of procrastination. It's a way of avoiding discomfort and staying within the boundaries of what feels safe and familiar, but comfort zones are where growth goes to die. If we want to create the life we truly desire, we need to take action, even when we don't feel ready. It's through these imperfect steps that we create momentum, gain confidence, and start to see the results of our efforts. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. The present is all we have, and it's in the present moment that we have the power to make choices, take action, and shape our future. Waiting for the perfect moment keeps us trapped in the past or the future rather than fully engaging with the here and now. It's in this moment that we can choose to take the first step, no matter how small, toward our dreams and goals. One of the most powerful things we can do is embrace the concept of good enough. Perfectionism often holds us back because we believe that everything has to be flawless before we can move forward. But perfection is an illusion. There is no such thing as a perfect plan, a perfect time, or a perfect execution. The most successful people in life are not the ones who waited for everything to be perfect. They are the ones who took action despite the imperfections. They moved forward with what they had, learned along the way, and adjusted their course as needed. When we stop waiting for the perfect moment, we also stop comparing ourselves to others. We stop worrying about how others are doing it or whether we measure up. The only thing that matters is taking action on our own terms based on our own desires and vision. The fear of comparison can paralyze us and keep us from moving forward, but when we stop waiting and start doing, we step into our own power. We stop waiting for external validation or approval and begin trusting ourselves to make the right choices. Another key to breaking free from waiting for the perfect moment is understanding that success is not a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, failures, and breakthroughs. There will never be a moment when everything is perfectly aligned, and that's okay. The journey is what matters. The lessons we learn along the way, the relationships we build, the growth we experience, and the progress we make. The perfect moment is simply an excuse we use to delay living our lives fully and to avoid stepping into the unknown. Letting go of the idea of a perfect moment is liberating. It frees us to take risks, make mistakes, and explore new possibilities. It allows us to embrace life with all its messiness and uncertainty, knowing that it's through the imperfections that we find our greatest lessons and opportunities. It's through taking action, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain, that we grow into the person we are meant to become. The only perfect moment that exists is the one you create by taking action. The time to start is now. You don't need to wait for everything to be aligned. You don't need to wait for the right circumstances, the right resources, or the perfect plan. The moment you take action is the moment you begin to create your own reality. So stop waiting for the perfect moment, because it will never come. Take the first step now and trust that each step you take will lead you closer to where you are meant to be. Thank you. As we reflect on these truths, it becomes clear that life is not about waiting for perfection, seeking validation from others, or letting fear dictate our actions. Life is about embracing each moment, trusting in your ability to overcome challenges and moving forward with courage even when the path isn't clear. The mistakes we make along the way aren't signs of failure, but opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. It is through these experiences that we unlock our true potential and step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. So I encourage you to leave behind the limitations that have held you back, to stop waiting for the perfect moment, and to embrace each step of your journey with faith in yourself. Know that the power to change, to grow, and to succeed is already within you. You have everything you need to create the life you truly desire. Don't let fear, doubt, or perfectionism stand in your way. Take action, trust the process, and believe in the person you are becoming. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for taking the time to listen, reflect, and commit to living with purpose and authenticity. You have what it takes to make this life extraordinary. Thank you.